everyone, I'm Charlene Takvik from alwaysstamping.com, and today we're going to make this fall triple layer card. I just love the way this looks, and this is the triple layer technique, so I'm going to show you how to do that. In order to make this card, what you're going to need is you're going to need early espresso and crumb cake cardstock, and you're going to start off with a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 early espresso, and you're going to fold that in half to make the base of your card. Once you have the base of your card, you are also going to need, for the early espresso layers, you're going to need a piece of 4.5 by 3.25 and 3.5 by 2.25. And then for your crumb cake, you're going to need a 5.25 by 4 inch, a 4.25 by 3 inch, and 3.25 by 2 inch piece of crumb cake. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to temporarily glue these together. I'm using Dado, but if you don't have Dado, you can use adhesive and just rub a little bit of it off so that it's not too sticky. The small piece first, with the 3.25 by 2 inch crumb cake, it will work out. It's easier to line it up if you put the small one on first. So you're going to line that up and just temporarily glue that, and then you're going to take that and temporarily glue that onto the bigger piece of crumb cake. And I'm just looking at the lines of my grid paper to get this on straight. Okay, once you have your 3 layers together, you're then going to take the In Francés background stamp, and you're going to ink that up with crumb cake, put it on half of my grid paper, and I'm going to turn it upside down. Be careful not to move it once it's on there, and then take the other half of the paper and just smooth it down. That way you don't get ink all over your hands, and you know you have it on there straight. Just carefully peel it off, and you have a nice background on your cardstock. Okay. Then you're going to use these 2 leaves from the Gently Falling, from the outline.
Hey, if you want to play, make it about a place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line.
It's been inked up with the early espresso. And don't worry about the way this looks, because that's what your early espresso cardstock is going to cover as the borders. Use my sponge daubers, and I'm going to use crumb cake and pumpkin pie.
Inside your mind, you'll find inspiration. All I'm saying is you can do it. I want to hear you say, I am independent. I am dedicated.
It's as simple as that. Now I have my stamped images colored in. And this is where you now take it apart to put the layers together. So I'm going to keep this together, and with the In Francés background, you want to make sure you don't put this together upside down. So I'm going to take the top, the smallest piece off, and I'm going to glue that to, and I just have to be careful because I just flipped that upside down and over, so I have to make sure I keep it going the same direction. Now, to get the sentiment on, I wanted to use the ribbon slides to add as an embellishment. And I thought, wow, the ribbon slides are meant to be used with 3/8 ribbon. But I said, wouldn't it be neat if you could slide paper through it? I'm going to just cut this a little bit longer and see where I want to place this. I might place this one up here just because I don't have anything up there. And so I'm gonna cut it bigger than it needs to be. So I'm just going to use my paper snips, a sponge, an early espresso, and I'm just going to sponge around the outside of my strip. Okay, so now I'm going to stick my slide in, bring it down to where I want it to be. So now I'm going to take it on my card, so I'm going to now just trim it. I'm going to use the Stampin' mini glue dots to put that on to make sure it really sticks well. When you stamp, it's homemade. We're not making cookie cutter cards. Everything can be a little different. This card is different from my first one I made because I lined up my images different than the images I lined up on the first one. Okay? So that's what it's all about, being a little creative. So here's the first one. I have that one at the bottom. This one I decided to put my image up top because I didn't have a lot of stamped images there. Okay, I hope you had fun learning how to make a triple layer card. Go to my blog to find out more about directions, and you can also see what I'm going to be doing with these googly ghouls.